What is happening, everybody? MG here. MG Covers bringing you a brand new sports handicapping video. Title of this video: Results of my 60 matches back test for soccer. Super fascinating. You're going to learn a lot. We're going to look at how to adjust a model, how to interpret your data once you've had a significant back test. Before we do that, as always, want to thank everybody for subscribing to the channel. We've almost hit our goal of 2,000 subs. We may come a little bit short, but I'm still making that a goal of hitting 2,000 subs before the end of the year. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, appreciate you subscribing. You get a lot of value by watching this channel. You learn the unadulterated truth about sports betting, not a lot of fluff, but a lot of content about the truth, how to improve. So if you simply watch the videos on the channel, you will improve your handicapping. If you follow me on social media, I am MG Covers, cover spelled with a Z. Send out a ton of content on Instagram. Sometimes it's a lean, sometimes it's a free play. So simply by following me, you'll learn a lot about sports betting. Let's dive into this soccer back test. And as you know, a little bit of a small background, I have been ultra fascinated with soccer for the last 3.5 years, have yet to make this profitable long term, but will continue to grind simply because it is a year-round sport. And if we can ever, quote, figure this out or make this profitable long term, it will be a huge, huge increase for my business as well as clients. So a little bit of backstory about what we were doing in case you're watching this video for the first time. What I did was I said, okay, I think what we need to do as far as modeling goes, we need to focus on, number one, just playing home teams, and number two, just playing dogs. The reason for that, home teams win significantly more often than the draw line and the away line. The second thing that was sort of my premise was let's only play money line dogs. Now, if we do that, our win percentage can be less than 50% and we can still be profitable long term. So that was the premise. And as far as the handicapping side with the model, I said, okay, I'm just going to play 50-50 games via the model. In theory, that was smart, but I'll talk about the mistake I made when doing that. So meaning if it's rare for the home team to win, we should win 50% of our, or somewhere close to that, of the home side matches. If we're just playing dogs, it would be profitable long term. I'll go ahead and tell you it was profitable. However, let's look at some data. And again, whatever model you're doing, if you're creating a model every day and you're testing, always keep excellent results. And this is a good way to do it. I show the home team, the wins, losses, units gained. In this case, I tracked the away side, how many times the away side won, how many times the draw line hit, and what was the draw line. Because without this data, you're not going to be able to learn anything. So I made a video earlier. So if we look at the results of this, a really, really strong start. So let's go through, okay, through like the first 20 matches or so, it was up 14.59 units. It was hitting like 60%. So it was way above the norm for home sides winning, which is around 45%. Super excited about this. I thought, hey, maybe we have, quote, figured this out and we could do this long term. Unfortunately, this did not hold up long term. And this, I believe, was about, we can go ahead and see how many matches this was. Let's see how many matches this was. This was through, okay, 30 matches. So through 30 matches, it was hitting about 60%. I think it was actually 63%, up 14.59 units. Now I knew it would regress some, but I didn't realize it would regress this much. Look what happens. Let's see when that was. Okay, right around here, around 12-11. Okay, over here, this is the win column. This is the loss. Look at all these losses. Loss, 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 win, loss, 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 win, loss, win, 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 loss, loss, win, loss. And we scroll our way down to yesterday. It had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 losses. So it regressed tremendously. In fact, after being up 15 units, after 62 matches, it finished at 6.47 units. So it basically lost 9 units in the last 30 matches. And that's really important when I talk about modeling. You can generally get a good idea of a model after about 20 or so matches, 20, 25 matches or games. but then you would still want to take that to about 50 to 60 matches or games. And then at that point, generally what's going to happen after that, you'll get a more accurate idea. But I wouldn't do a massive back test of, say, 1,000 games. You really don't need that. But just to get a general idea of a model, you probably need about 20, 25. If it's losing at 20, 25, more than likely that model is going to be losing at 50, 100, 150. So if it's losing in about 20, 25 matches or games, then I would go back and back test that. And then once you get it profitable, say 20, 25, then run it up to what I just did to about 50. So we know that this is definitely trending down. Now let's talk about why. In soccer, the home team, and let's look at some, just so we can see this. I think sometimes visually seeing this. This is from La Liga. In all of La Liga, home team wins 43% of the time. Okay. Let's take a look at English Premier League. And this site right here that I'm at is soccerstats.com. Is a really good stat. I mean, a really good website you can use. 47% for EPL. Now let's go to Series A. And again, I know you already know this, but I'm just showing this, and you'll see why in a second. So 45%. Now, this is the mistake I made. Home teams win 45% of the time. Let's say roughly 45% of the time across all of soccer. But that includes all the teams. That means that includes favorites, that includes dogs. If we are only playing underdogs, are we going to hit 45%? No. It's going to drop significant. It's going to drop below that. In fact, my prediction, if we carry this model say to 100 matches, maybe even 500, or back tested all the way to 1,000, I think that number would get closer to 40%. And that's just the reality. For example, in Major League Baseball, home teams win 60% of the time, dogs win 40%. NHL, favorites win. Did I say home teams? Favorites win 60% of the time in NHL and MLB. Dogs win 40% of the time. Okay. So it's the same with soccer. So when you see 45%, that includes some of those heavy favorites. So if I'm just playing dogs, that number is it's going to be less than 45%. And so when you actually look at the numbers itself, we are at 27 and 35. Now it is profitable, 6.457 units, but I predict if we ran this, say, at 100, that number would continue to decline. 27 divided by 62, we're at 44%. So still pretty good. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact it's a really good model. Now, what I want to talk about and show you what's absolutely fascinating in all this, obviously I'm not going to handicap this way because, again, I feel like if we continue to test this, if I played matches this way, I didn't play any. I think I played a couple. This would continue to decrease as far as profit goes for the home side. The away side won 14 times, and that's significant because regardless of how you handicap soccer, you have to eliminate a side. It's a three-headed monster, so one of those sides have to be eliminated, and we are doing that by only focus on playing the home side. So you take 14 divided by 62. Home team, the away side only won 23% of the time, which is good. Now, what I noticed during this losing skid, again, this is a very good teaching point for those of you working on models, is that you can learn so much by looking at your losses and analyzing your losses. So what I was doing is let me go back up here to the top. So this column is away wins. Anytime the away side won, and anytime the draw line hit, I would, record that. So look what happens all the way down here after this, when it goes on this losing skid. Whoops. All right, right around here. Loss, it was a draw. Loss, it was a draw. Loss, 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 draw. Meaning those losses were draws. So, and the reason that was, the way I'm handicapping this from the model perspective, I'm playing 50-50 games, meaning I'm not sure if the home side is going to win or the draw side or the away side. We've eliminated the away side, so it's either going to be the home or the draw line. So the reason why the draw side increased significantly was we were playing 50-50 games via the model, and the fact that home teams overall only win 45%. But again, that's incorporating favorites. If we're only playing dogs, that number is going to regress. Now, the number of draws hit were 21. That's really good for draws. So 21 divided by 62, 34% on the draw line, which is really good. Now, if we add up the average line for the draw line, whoops, let me show you this. There it is, plus 251. So what I'm saying is, if we played all draws for all 62 matches, we would have won 21 matches with an average money line of 0.251, which is really good. So that grossed out 52. So if you take, in essence, you take all these and add it up, we grossed out 52.79 units for the draw, which is really good, right? So in back testing this, we had 21 wins on the draw line. So we take 62, the total number of matches, minus 21. That gives us 41 losses. So 41 losses is basically minus 41 here, which gives us now a profit only playing the draw line of 11.79 on the draw line. Interesting, right? So at this point, the draw line is more profitable than playing the home side. And I asked myself this question, will this work long term? I don't know, because I've handicapped the draw line in the past, but the way that I did it, not to bog this video down, was not the way that I'm doing it now. And I think this approach is very sharp for the draw line winning, because again, we're playing home teams. We know that the home team, well, first off, the away team is only going to win, 22% of the time. And this is another interesting point to make. I do believe if I ran this, the draw line, because it's all moving, what do you call that, a pendulum? So if this win percentage goes down, it's at 44%. I believe it's going to go down to 40%. Something's going to have to go up, either the draw side or the away side. I think the away side will probably come up a little bit, maybe even up to 25%. And I think it's at 22% now. But if I'm guessing this, I do believe it would be profitable to play it exactly like I'm playing it, just playing the draw line this way, because I've never approached playing the draws. And I think if you try to handicap draws, or you try to find a match that looks like a draw, you basically bring all three sides into play. Because generally, what people look for when they're handicapping draws is they want to look at, teams being equal. And that generally doesn't work, because then that draw line will come down to, say, like plus 200, and you won't get good money on the draw line. And it brings all three sides into play, meaning the home side could win, away side could win, the draw side could win. So I think this approach could definitely work with the draw side long term. And if you made me play it right now, this would probably be the direction I would play. I would handicap it the same way, except playing the home team, I would simply play the draw line. So super fascinating video. I'll keep you posted on these results. I won't officially wager, but I'm going to continue to track this probably through the end of the year and then make a decision, see what it looks like moving forward. Because if we crack the code on this, this could be huge for the business. So super excited about this. If you want access to all my coaching videos and all my lines for all sports, we have a ton of sports going on right now. NBA, NCAA basketball, hockey, soccer. What else am I missing? Got all the bowl games as well. $50, you get access to all that, in addition to all my coaching videos. If you want access to all my plays, that's $100 a month. Also gives you access to everything on the site. If you join for an entire year, we had several clients here last week sign up for the yearly. That's the best package. Instead of paying $100 a month, you can pay $500 at one time. You save $600. You get access to everything on the site for $500 for an entire year. It's like getting an associate's degree in sports handicapping. All that information is in the description box to click the links for that. Appreciate you watching this video. Like, subscribe to the channel. Talk to you guys soon. Peace.